Planet Fitness doesn't allow online cancellation. In fact, there is no Planet Fitness cancellation policy.
Planet Fitness is America's most popular gym, with almost 18 million members and $1.1 billion in revenue in 2023, up 14.4% from the year before. But here's the thing. They won't let you cancel. Planet Fitness has perfected something most businesses only dream of. Customers who literally cannot leave. They've built a financial roach motel where money checks in, but it never checks out. 41 million search results. That's not a customer service issue. That's a business model. This is a subscription you can never escape. Welcome to the Purple Prison. Let's start with the bait. $15 a month. Cheaper than most people's Netflix subscription. No enrollment fee during promotions. Pizza Mondays. Bagel Tuesdays. It's like they're paying you to work out. The marketing genius is undeniable. They've positioned themselves as the anti-gym gym. The place where regular people can feel comfortable without intimidating muscleheads grunting in the corner. But the fairy tale ends there. The moment you want to leave, and trust me, that moment will come, you discover the fine print they never mentioned during sign-up. You can't cancel online. You can't cancel over the phone. You can't even cancel by certified mail in most cases. You have to physically show up, in person, with a handwritten cancellation form during specific business hours, and hope the staff feels like processing it that day.
So, how do I cancel my membership?
So you would come into the facility and cancel, and we don't cancel over the phone. You have to cancel by the 10th of the month to avoid being charged on the 17th. And then if you're not able to come into the facility, you would have to send a letter through certified mail to your home.
See, what Planet Fitness has figured out is something that subscription economists call negative option billing. A system where the default is to keep charging you, unless you jump through increasingly complex hoops to stop it. Every barrier they place between you and cancellation is worth millions in retained revenue from people who simply give up trying. Let's talk about the contract you signed. Remember that moment when the friendly staff member slid a tablet across the counter and said, "Just sign here"? That innocent swipe of your finger just locked you into what legal experts are calling one of the most consumer-hostile agreements in the fitness industry. Buried in paragraph 12 of their membership agreement, and yes, I counted, is a clause that states you cannot cancel in the first 12 months unless you move more than 25 miles away from any Planet Fitness location, suffer a disabling injury, or die. That's right, death is literally listed as an acceptable reason to cancel your gym membership. The bar is set that high. But wait, it gets better. Even if you qualify for one of these exceptions, you can't just cancel. You have to provide documentation, medical records for injuries, proof of address change with utility bills dated within 30 days. And for military deployment, they require official orders, but only if you're deployed for more than 12 months to a location without a Planet Fitness nearby.
What do I have to do to cancel this membership? Oh, you have to come into the location or else write a letter. The gym where I stay is 45 minutes away from where I live at. Is those the only two ways? Yes, those are the only two ways. You have to physically come in to cancel your membership.
They've designed a system where the effort required to cancel exceeds the psychological pain of losing $15 a month. Most people, when faced with driving to a gym location, waiting in line, filling out forms, and potentially arguing with staff, will just think, it's only $15, and let it slide for another month. Then another. Then another.
$10 a month for 4 years, and I've never stepped foot inside the gym.
Planet Fitness has weaponized what behavioral economists call loss aversion and status quo bias. They've made canceling so annoying that your brain convinces you it's easier to just keep paying. Every month you procrastinate on canceling is money in their pocket, and they know exactly what they're doing. Now we get to the beautiful irony of Planet Fitness's business model. They don't actually want you to use their gym. I know that sounds insane. What kind of gym doesn't want customers working out? But stick with me, because this is where it gets really twisted. Planet Fitness operates on what industry insiders call the insurance model. They sell memberships to far more people than their facilities can actually accommodate. The average Planet Fitness location has equipment for maybe 300 people working out simultaneously. But they'll happily sell 6,000 memberships. They're banking on the fact that lost members will show up for a few weeks in January, then disappear until the next New Year's resolution cycle. According to industry data, the average gym member visits just 1.7 times per week. Planet Fitness members? Even less. Their business model literally depends on you paying for a service you don't use. While other gym chains sell access to fitness, Planet Fitness sells the idea of fitness, but doesn't really want every member to get fit, at least not inside its doors. If even half their members showed up regularly, the wait times for equipment would be so long that people would cancel out of frustration. They've built a house of cards that only works when most customers stay home. This explains everything about their gym environment. The lunk alarm that shames people for grunting or dropping weights? That's not about creating a welcoming space. It's about discouraging the kind of serious lifters who actually show up consistently. The pizza parties and bagel breakfasts? They're not promoting health. They're normalizing the idea that this gym is more about socializing than sweating. Think about their equipment selection. Most Planet Fitness locations have dozens of cardio machines, the kind of equipment that breaks down frequently and requires minimal supervision. But free weights? Limited. Squat racks? Maybe one or two. Heavy dumbbells? Good luck finding anything over 75 pounds. They've deliberately created an environment that appeals to casual users while repelling anyone who might actually make the gym their second home. If Planet Fitness were to maintain its peak attendance of 50 to 60 attendees all day, only 20%, or 3.7 million of its members, would be working out 4 times per week. So every member who never shows up is pure profit. No wear and tear on equipment, no increased utility costs, no additional staffing needs. Planet Fitness has essentially perfected the art of selling a product they hope you never use. It's like Netflix charging for accounts that never stream, or Spotify billing for music that's never played. Let's dig deeper into the psychology of Planet Fitness's design, because what they've created isn't really a gym. It's a carefully engineered guilt suppression machine. The entire brand revolves around being the judgment-free zone. Purple and yellow color scheme, friendly, non-threatening, almost childlike. The mascot is a cartoon character, not a ripped athlete. Their advertising features regular people, not fitness models. Every visual cue is designed to whisper, "You don't need to be perfect here." However, they're actually creating an environment where not showing up feels okay. We all think about traditional gyms, intimidating, competitive, full of people who clearly know what they're doing. Missing a week at that place feels like a failure. But Planet Fitness? They've normalized mediocrity. They've made it socially acceptable to pay for a gym membership you rarely use. The layout itself reinforces this. Cardio equipment faces away from the weight area, so beginners don't have to watch experienced lifters. The weights are organized in a way that makes it hard to do serious compound movements. The music is top 40 hits, not workout motivation. Even the lighting is soft and flattering rather than the harsh fluorescents that make you want to push harder. Planet Fitness has tapped into something uniquely American. Our desire to feel like we're improving our lives without actually doing the hard work. They've created a space where paying the membership fee feels like taking action toward fitness, even if you never break a sweat. It's genius, really. They've monetized good intentions. This isn't accidental, guys. Every detail, from the lack of mirrors in certain areas to the absence of clocks on cardio machines, is designed to make working out feel less intense, less intimidating, and ultimately, less necessary. They've created a gym for people who don't really want to go to the gym. and made it nearly impossible for those people to stop paying once they inevitably stop going. Multiple customers have reported that even after going through everything and canceling their Planet Fitness membership, the charges somehow continued. How is this possible? They use third-party billing companies that can track customers across different accounts and financial institutions. The pattern became so egregious that in 2020, a class action lawsuit was filed against Planet Fitness in New Hampshire, alleging they continued billing members during COVID-related gym closures without providing services. Similar lawsuits have been filed in California, Florida, and Texas. Yet the company continues these practices, apparently calculating that legal settlements cost less than lost subscription revenue. What Planet Fitness has perfected is something subscription economists call retention through friction. Every obstacle they place in your path to cancellation is worth approximately $47 in retained revenue per customer, according to industry analysis. When you multiply that by millions of members, those processing delays and administrative errors translate into tens of millions in additional profit. The question everyone asks is, how is this legal? How can a company make it virtually impossible to cancel a service you no longer want? The answer lies in the gray area between consumer protection laws and corporate legal teams that are paid very well to find loopholes. Planet Fitness operates under what's called automatic renewal laws, which vary by state. In some states, they're required to send you a notice before renewing your contract. In others, they just need to make the terms reasonably available to read. Hence that tablet with 17 pages of fine print you swipe through in 30 seconds. They're technically following the law. They're just following it in the most consumer-hostile way possible. The real clever part is, buried in that contract you signed is a mandatory arbitration clause. This means if you have a dispute with Planet Fitness, you can't take them to court. You can't join a class action lawsuit. You have to settle your dispute through a private arbitrator that they help select. It's like being forced to argue your case in front of a judge who's being paid by your opponent. The fitness industry exists in a regulatory sweet spot, where they're not quite utilities, so they're not heavily regulated like phone companies, but they're not quite retail either, so standard return policies don't apply. They fall into this middle ground, where consumer protection laws are weaker and harder to enforce. Some states have tried to crack down. California requires gyms to allow online cancellation. New York mandates a 3-day cooling-off period for new memberships. But Planet Fitness has learned to adapt to these regulations while maintaining their core strategy. In California, they'll let you cancel online, but only after you've been a member for over a year and only during specific windows throughout the year. How Planet Fitness markets itself versus how they actually operate are two very different things. Their advertisements emphasize freedom, judgment-free zones, and accessible fitness. But their legal documents read like a hostage negotiation. The marketing department and the legal department are clearly working from completely different playbooks, and somehow this contradiction is perfectly legal. By now, you understand that Planet Fitness isn't really in the fitness business. They're in the subscription trap business, with some exercise equipment on the side. The genius of their model is how they've aligned every incentive against the customer. They make money when you don't show up, so they design an environment that discourages regular use. They profit when you can't cancel, so they create a bureaucratic maze that would make the DMV jealous. They benefit when you feel guilty about not working out, but not guilty enough to actually cancel. So they've crafted the perfect psychological pressure release valve. Want to know the hardest workout you'll ever do at a Planet Fitness? Try canceling your membership. You'll break more of a sweat arguing with customer service representatives than you ever will on their elliptical machines. The most resistance training you'll get is pushing back against their retention department. The disturbing part is that Planet Fitness isn't unique here. They're just the most visible example of a subscription economy that's designed around customer inertia rather than customer satisfaction. They've perfected the art of selling a service that works best when you don't use it, then making it nearly impossible to stop paying for it. Every business model reveals something about human nature. Planet Fitness has built their empire on our tendency to procrastinate, our willingness to pay for good intentions, and our reluctance to confront uncomfortable bureaucracy. They've monetized our weaknesses and turned our best intentions into their profit margins. So the next time you see those friendly purple and yellow signs promising a judgment-free zone for just $10 or $15 a month, remember, the only thing they're not judging is your ability to escape once you're inside. Because in the purple prison, checking out is a workout they never want you to complete. The house always wins, even when the house is a gym.